Welcome back to the Morning Line. It's time for another edition of the Spy Files here on a Monday morning, as we always do. The man who dives into the trials from all around the state each and every week is this man, Brodie Nixon. Brodie, another cracking edition coming up. We continue to find winners. Long may it continue, mate.
Good morning, Lewis. Good morning, everyone. Once again, following the weekend review, the trials. Now, we've had a couple of really good horses have a few hitouts in the last week. A couple, especially from Godolphin and Chris Waller. I'm really keen to follow. Af Cabin didn't go towards the Oakley Plate, but I think it's been heading towards some Group 1 features in a couple of weeks.
Mate, let's dive straight into it. It is our trial star, and as you just so mentioned, it's Aft Cabin from the Godolphin team. We've already seen Aft Cabin on the show a few weeks ago in the first trial, and clearly has backed it up again in trial number 2.
Yeah, that's him last on the fence, Lewis, just next to you. Now, he's going to stick towards the inside, of course, in the Godolphin Blue Silks. Tropical Squall, the Group 1 winner. She leads up the heat now. She's gone quite well ahead of her run in the Surround Stakes coming up this weekend. But Aft Cabin just sticks towards the inside. He does everything you want to see. Now, this isn't a star-studded trial. It's not something we're going to see a whole heap of winners come out and head towards Group 1 racing, but it's the weights the Godolphin Entai has gone about his work that is so impressive. As you can see, James McDonald just maintains a stranglehold, eases up the inside. Tropical Squall skips clear in front, but here comes the big boy up the inside, extends beautifully, goes straight past her and wins under a hold. I think it would have been hard to beat in the Oakley Plate. We might have got a price. As we saw, the race was dominated by horses on speed, so he might not have been suited on the day. But I think coming in the next few months, Godolphin are going to want to notch up that Group 1 to stamp his case at stud.
Look how far they've spaced out from the rest, and that was a pretty good win because, as we saw, Tropical Squall really hard ridden through the line. Bit of urging for Aft Cabin, not too much though, and was able to go past it in the end pretty easily. The TJ Smith, perhaps the target for the Godolphin runner?
I think it might be heading towards the perfect race. I know I'm a Queenslander, but the Doomben 10,000.
Oh, here we go.
I think if he heads towards that race, he's going to be so hard to beat. He's perfectly suited up there. He ran so well in the Stradbroke. He's on the next line of betting there at next page of betting at $26.
That's a big
We know
price.
that TJ Smith is going to be a whole heap of gun sprinters. A couple of Australia's best gallopers heading towards that race in the autumn, as they always do. I think $26 is a fair price, and hopefully he launches into the Queensland campaign, because I think Doomben 10,000, as I've said 25 times in this show, I think it's his race.
All right, we might have to get on for the Doomben 10,000 as well. Let's go to your hidden trial, Brodie. It's one out of the Chris Waller team who... what do you make of horses coming out of the trials for Chris Waller? He's not often one to really get them up and get them savaging the line and winning by 10 lengths, is he? He tends to just hold them and be quite conservative with some of them, and I think this is the case for this one as well.
Yeah, like some trainers like Gai Woodhouse, Adrian Bott use it to get horses fit, and they learn a lot there, but Chris often uses it as an educational tool. I don't think this filly, Little Jenny, last off the fence, has much to learn. She's had 2 runs in New Zealand, unlucky and fantastic in both. One of the best buyers of bloodstock from New Zealand, Aussie Kerrs, picked up another one here, and I think she's going to be very good. Was accepted to run in a Super Maiden last week. Now, they did scratch. I'm not too sure where she's on this week, but look at her under an absolute stranglehold. There's nothing special in front in this trial, but she's got links on these, and we're going to hold the replay for a little bit after the post, because as you can see, stranglehold from J-Mac. She's going to get out in a couple of moments' time off the heels of these leaders, and there she goes, straight past them in a couple of moments' time. She got out over a little bit further ground. She handles wet conditions. I'm not too sure where they go, but she's not going to be a maiden in Australia for very long.
Yeah, that is a special trial. One of the probably better fifths in a trial that you'll see for Little Genie out of the Chris Waller team. Let's head to your sharp improver. You've got another one from Camp Waller to discuss here for us.
I thought this filly was going to be a chance heading towards the spring as a 3-year-old. She's in the Zougotcha Silks right in the centre there with the green, of course, and the black and white sleeves. She just trucks through the line, isn't asked to do much. Now, she's had 2 runs at the races. Both have been outstanding. She was narrowly beaten by Zia, who went up to Queensland and ran so well. Makina came through the same race, had absolutely no chance there at Doomben. Came back with a couple of really, really strong trials during the spring. I thought she was going to be a potential 1,000 Guineas horse. Of course, Chris Waller already had that winner sitting in his barn with Jolie Star, but she just trucked behind the speed. A couple of fairly sharp commodities have gone quite well in front, especially Dave Pfeiffer trained galloper in the Trapeze Artist Silks on the outside, the grey. It looks quite sharp going forward, but Makina, not asked to do much, just work through the line under Nash Willer. Expect her to go to one more trial before she heads to the races. I don't think she'll suit it on the wet ground, and we might see a sharp commodity on good ground.
That's another one who just is under such a hold through the line, and there's so much more up the sleeve there, I think, for a few of those, and that's why we want to identify them, because come race day, they're going to be going much quicker than that when asked for a bit of an effort and shown the whip as well. Your work in progress identified one from the Brett Kavanagh team, who are seemingly going so well at the moment around the provincial and country areas. I think he had a Country Cups victory not that long ago. Who's this one?
Once again, my girl. Now, she started her career brilliantly. She's one out, one back here. A couple of leaders up front have gone all right at the trials, and Reigning King, who ran on the inside leading up the heat in the purple and green. Now, it came out and ran quite well first up into the preparation. Was beaten by a fairly sharp galloper at Hawkesbury last week, but once again, my girl, she looks different gravy compared to the horses in these trials. Now, she's landed one out, one back as mentioned. She skipped the horse, clear of the horse in the box seat. She's going to ease to the outside. It just extends beautifully. She's a very, very sharp horse, 1,000 metres. She especially can roll on. She's got a great cruising speed. Connections thought enough following 2 demolitions first up to throw in a listed race at Scone about 9 months ago. She ran into the smart Red Card, who of course won again at Rose Hill on Saturday that day. But she's under double wraps here, just extending beautifully at Scone. Got a lot more to give, and when she goes the races, I cannot wait to see what she does. She was slightly disappointing, but she was really tested in some good races during the spring. Looks a potential Kosciuszko horse if she can run out the 1,200 metres, but she certainly looks well above country grade.
Beautiful looking chestnut as well, with a big white blaze. You certainly won't miss her in the run, no matter where she goes. You're something for later horse. You've identified Ausbred Flirt. We know the Ausbred colours and Ausbred names so well. Sometimes they're hard to keep track of, but this one we need to keep track of because it could be winning shortly.
She was next level once again at the trials. Now, she went off the boil a little bit, but last preparation she won at a big prize first up at Randwick and just kept on running so well following a couple of good trials. Now, she's in the box seat, and she really stood up last preparation, as I mentioned. This is her second hit out for the campaign over the 1,030 metres at Rose Hill. Not asked to do much. Got a couple of really nice horses in behind. This was a genuine group and listed trial. You got Renaissance Woman sitting outside the leader. The likes of Kovalipa's back on the fence as well. So not many horses were asked to finish off the heat. She's just going to ease back towards the inside and work home strongly to win the heat. The reason why I say she's something for later, I think she can sprint well fresh, but there's a couple of races coming up over the next few weeks and months that I think she'll really thrive. Second and third up into the campaign. They're looking for that black type for her. And look at the way she does extend. She's got a lot more to give than a couple of these horses on the outside. Not many are ridden up. You got the likes of Faulkner Park and Thalassophile a couple of pairs back who are both going really well as well. So really keen to follow Ausbred Flirt in the next few weeks.
Okay, so Ken sprint well first up, but perhaps later in the preparation. Hence, there's something for later horse. Now, your midweek marble, because we can't wait too long to find a winner. They're racing on the Newcastle track today. Was on the Beaumont for those watching. It has been transferred to the main course proper due to the wet weather up in Newcastle. The Beaumont was a heavy 10, so we're on the course proper. That is all by the by. You found one called Reign of 9, and I want to give a quick shout out because a part owner, ex-colleague of ours, Ed Tucker, he must be very keen that you're tipping this one up.
Eduardo, he's got a nice horse here. We've been waiting for her to find the right race. Now we're going to roll the full replay of her latest start at Bathurst. This is second up. She gets chopped out in a couple of moments' time, and this is what costs her the race. She's jumped so well, she's just going to cop a slight check, and she's forced to lose a few lengths and settle towards the back of the field. The winner Just Wide goes fast up front, and this is when it wins the race. It skips clear, and Reign of 9 just loses its momentum, and it's forced to really pick up and try chase for the rest of the race. Eduardo has been really keen on this horse for a long time, and as of high, just been trying to find the right race, and going from the Beaumont, as you mentioned, Lewis, now to Newcastle. The Beaumont's not a very good drying track. It would have been a very, very wet, heavy 10, but Newcastle's already up to a soft 6, I believe, when checking this morning. So Reign of 9 gets to the outside, backing up a couple of really sharp trials, but she just had too much to do. She's run a couple of monster late splits to get home and narrowly miss, and she looks primed to win this afternoon. She's drawn quite well, yeah, Lewis?
I was just going to say, I reckon she's still learning a lot too, because she got really lost on the turn as well, and almost fell out the back of the screen in moments there. So that's a pretty good run, all things considered.
Yeah, it was a huge run, all things considered, as you did mention. Just got lost around the turn, got to the outside, and then once she kind of straightened up, she really picked up. I think Blinkers eventually will really suit this horse, maybe even Winkers, but she's even money this afternoon. Miss More, $3 is the second line of betting for Gay Woodhouse and Adrian Bott. She looks the clear leader, so if she doesn't roll along too fast in front, I think it'll really suit Reign of 9, and I'm more than happy to take the evens in a very small field.
Yeah, beauty. Best of luck, Ed, if you are watching. Go well, son. Let's go back to the top. Recap all the runners that we've found this week for the Spy Files, and we start with the Godolphin Blue in Aft Cabin.
Alf Cabin, he's going to be very hard to beat when he finally finds the right race. 1,200 metres this campaign for James Cummings. Little Genie, Chris Waller gets this New Zealand import for Aussie Kerr. He's so lethal with the horses he buys. We saw he had the winner there in the Autumn Stakes at Caulfield a short time ago. Makina, another trial before she heads to the races. While over the page, once again, my girl for Brett Kavanagh, Osbred Flirt, something for later, and Reign of Nine this afternoon at Newcastle with a change of track to the course proper.
If we want to find all these tips again and more that you post all throughout the week, Brodie, where can we go to get it?
Yeah, jump on the Tab app, join the Spy Files, just shy of 10,000 people. So thank you to everyone who's got involved. We had a good week last week, and touch wood, we can get a few more.
I'm sure it will all continue. That is the Spy Files with Brodie Nixon for another week. Of course, as he just mentioned, found all his selections on the Bets Friends section of the Tab app. Plenty of winners each and every day. We're going to take a break here on The Morning Line. Back with some more after this.